Story time, part 2. So if you missed part 1 of our story, please go back into our content and take a moment to view that. So the year is now 1984, still 84, but it's the summer. So we are now going into the summer. I was in the infamous Blue Star Regiment, BSR. So I had band camp and practice at school all the time. And you were...
football practice. All summer long.
All summer long. So what happened was we got to keep running into one another. And then, lo and behold, my sister gets married and moves into his apartment complex. So whose house am I trying to be at as often as possible? My sister's house. So we ended up having a lot of run-ins there. We got to talk a lot. We started hanging out all summer. He even got upset because, tell the story from your point of view.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this one. Listen, so I'm out at one of my boys' house. You know, we running the streets and everything. So it's time for me to go home. I want to eat. So I'm walking through the apartment. I just so happened to walk through hers just to see if she was around that day, and she was in the pool. So she said, "Hey, from what I understand, you messed with such, you had sex with her and all of this kind of stuff." And I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. And she, of course, thought I was lying because I'm assuming this girl really told her, "Hey, I'm talking to him. I had sex with him and all of this." I had no clue who she was. Never talked to her before. Never spoke to this girl before. So we went through that, you know. And the crazy thing is, as I'm looking back at the scene in my head right now, she was a little salty. Yeah, to say we was just friends, she was a little salty.
I was only salty because it was supposed to be my good friend. It was a good friend of mine who did tell me a lie. She did tell me she was.
And she didn't go to school with us. She went to
she went to church with me.
Yeah, but she went to a school way on the other side of town, a side of town that I really never went on. You know, so I didn't even know this girl. And I think I had seen her before at the skating rink. Yeah. And that's about it. That's the only reason, you know, finally I figured out who she was talking about, possibly. But, yeah, I had never even spoke to the girl before. There you go. That was Kelly. That was what I'm talking about. You know, that girl talking about.
That did happen quite often. If a girl knew you liked a boy and she wanted to let you know that she could have that dude. So she tell you whatever she got to tell you to let you know that. And I had that happen a lot of times. Every now and then it was true. Anyway.
Well, no.
So, okay. So anyway, now we've gone through the summer. We've gotten pretty cool. My best friend at the time, Lisa Aber, what's up? I had to go to her and tell her, listen, looks like we're friend zoned. So this is never going to happen. We're cool. I think I like it like that. You know, he seems to be the homie. I'm dapping him up when I see him. It's like, he's cool now. Yeah. So,
it was good people.
Yeah, there's nothing popping off. It just is what it is. So, get to the first few days of school. We're kind of hanging out, you know. Him, his boys, he's good friends with our friend. He's our friend, and that's Craig. And what's up, Craig?
What's up?
He's been there since day one, and he's both of our best friends. So more than a friend, like a brother. So hanging with him, hanging with them, just kind of chilling, just like we did at lunchtime in the quad. Anybody that's from Gen X, you know, we were good at hanging out and chilling, and that's what we did with everybody. So we were getting cooler and cooler as friends. Yep. Nothing
else.
Nothing popping out. Nothing popping up. It was just
hug buddies. That's it.
We were just cool. I remember he hit me one day and he was like, "Hey, Latura, come here." And he was with a crowd of guys, and he said,
"Where are you going with this?"
He said, "I heard you could sing." And I said, "Yeah, I can sing." And he was like, "Well, what's up? Sing." And so what you're hearing in the background, that's the very first song that I sang to him. And that's how he found out that I was a singer, because I've been singing all my life in the church. And of course, if you know the song that's playing in the back, I had to make sure that I sang lyrics that would let him know how I was feeling in that time.
Of course I didn't get that.
You didn't get it?
No, hell no. I wasn't listening to
I specifically chose that song.
I was listening to the tone and everything like that. It sounded great. So that's what I was listening to. You understand me? Lyrics, come on now. Come on now. But I loved a good singer at that point. Matter of fact, that summer, me and my boy Craig and his brother Lamont was hanging out. And Lamont was singing while we was walking down the street and all that. And they the ones told me, hey, you know, Latour could sing. And then that's why I hit her up. You know, I remember that school, we first got to school, I was like, oh, shit, let me see if she can sing for me. So yeah, that started a whole thing.
Started a
whole thing.
A whole thing.
We'll get to that though. We'll get to that.
So we are, at this point, we're cool. Nothing's popping off. And by the way, my brother also played football on his team. And they were, I guess they were cool. Were you guys friends or no?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You know, we knew each other at the time and everything. We was vying for the same position, so yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So they were cool. So he knew him. And then let me take you back a little bit. Before the summer started, there was a football banquet, and because my brother played football, I was at the football banquet, and I was seeing him across the room, and I don't know what my face was doing. I don't know if I was staring at him or what, but my mom tapped me on to get my attention and said, leaned over and whispered and said, don't even think about it. And I was like, what is she
Cock block.
Come
on, man.
I was like, how did she know? But she saw something and was like, don't even think about it.
She had me all messed up. Too.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
Right
you know, people can change, but I don't know if she had you messed up back then. She might have been trying to spare me from some stuff. But told me, don't even think about it. So now fast forward back. He and my brother, to my understanding, you're going to have to fix the story because I got to tell it the way I lived
tell it the way you heard it.
So the way I lived it was, my brother comes home and he's like on a 10. You know that in there talking about you in the locker room, and he's talking about you with everybody. And I'm like, how's he talking about me? What did I do? He was like, he just said something crazy. And me and him was about to fight because I didn't appreciate what he said. What did he say? He said that he wanted to get with my sister, but he wanted to hit. And I was like, oh, what? Are you kidding me? Because at this point, we're friends. There's been no intimate connection. I'm like, he said what? So now tell it from...
So this is how the story goes. You see how stuff get mixed up? So California is a big time bagging state. People talk about each other. They talk about people's mother. They bag,
for those of you that don't know the term bagging.
And all of that.
Roasting, scoing, whatever you call it now.
Talk about, yeah. So, I'm coming from the country. We didn't really talk about each other like that. We didn't really make fun of each other like that. All that kind of stuff. Hey, we get to Cali, it's a whole different story. So we in the locker room, and this dude says something about my mom, right? Like, oh man, your mom is hella fine. I want to get with her. I said, fool. I didn't hit him with that. I said, well, shit. Yeah, go ahead. And I'm going to get with your sister. And that's how it went. I ain't say nothing about, unless he said, I want to F your mom, and then I might have said, I want to F your sister. I can't remember the details like that, but I went as far as he went, put it this way.
Oh, God.
So he going to go back and tell her. He left the part out with him trying to get with my mom.
Tell me that
he didn't say nothing like that. He just going to come back and say that. He said all this in front of the players. And he said what he said in front of the players.
Right.
So he started the mess and I finished it. You understand me? And that's how that went.
So now we're at a football game. I had to perform that night. It's after the game. It's late at night. We've changed clothes. We just got out the locker rooms. We're outside in the quad, and I see him. And I mean, just fire just darts behind my eyes. I was like, hey, come here, let me holler at you for a second.
Yeah.
I said, I heard what you said in the locker room. I heard what you said. You was in there talking about me. And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, my brother told me what you said, how you said you wanted to hit, how you said you wanted to get with me. And I just want you to know how foul that is. And I don't understand. And he goes, did he tell you that? I said, I really like you, though. And I'm just still talking like this just is ridiculous because you're supposed to be cool with me. He was like, but did he say that did he tell you? I said, I really like you. And I'm tired of you, and you're disrespectful. You're blah, 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 blah. Wait, what you just say? He said, did he tell you that I said, I really like you?
Like you, though.
And I'm like, what does that mean?
I want to take this to the next level.
And he was
Will
like,
you be
yeah,
my
I
girl?
want you to be my girlfriend.
Mhm.
Oh, the butterflies.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
Stop all that damn talking. Just stop it right there. You
The
understand me?
butterflies. All right. Like for part 3.